Alright everyone, Country here this morning. What I'm doing here, I'm kind of getting my little coon cuffs ready, my coon traps ready, and I'm just going to show you a little bit of that today, what I do. Maybe it'll help some of you out when you're out trying to catch some of these coons. You know, I got to catch all these coons around my corn feeders and all, just too many of them eating up my corn and all. I don't want to feed all the coons too, so y'all stick around and see what I'm going to show you. Alright, coon cuffs, they were kind of all nasty from, I didn't use them last year, so they sit up for a couple of years. But anyway, what I done was they was really rusty, so I soaked them in white vinegar like I do a lot of other stuff, like my cast iron and everything else, my chains, you know, takes all the rust off. Washed them all down real good, and now I come back and I kind of took a wire brush to them and cleaned them up a little bit. And then I'm going to put a little paint on these. And I'll show you that in a minute, and I'm going to tell you why I do it and all that. So, but I had to get them clean first. And anyway, if you decide to paint yours or not, you still have to get them all cleaned up like this. You got to get all the crud off. Well, what I done was I went to the dollar store and I got some metallic paint. I never tried this color before, so if it turns out like the lid, that'd be cool. It'd probably work pretty good. So let me see if I can put a little paint on these things. Show you that. We'll see what happens. All right. What I done is I just hung them up there. That's how my metallic paint turned out. Worked pretty good. So I gotta see if I can get a few more traps. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough of these to do what I want to do and get in all the little trails that the coons make and try to catch them. That's how this is turning out so far. Alright, now what I got going on is I'm taking all my stakes here and cleaning all the rust off of them, and I'm gonna put a little paint on them, a little red paint where I can see them, because all my sets is going to be around food plots and fields and around people's chicken yards and all, places where you're going to be going with mowers and tillers and disc and all, and I don't want to lose a stake. I need to be able to find it. Sometimes I lose them, so I like to have them a bright color to where I can see them. Plus, it helps cover up all that crap that's on them too, and keep them from rusting out. Okay, now trap placement. See, I got a big brush pile everywhere, trash pile, kind of cleaning up on these old food plots. All kind of stuff on the food plots from the storms needs to be cleaned up. There's trails coming in over there, there's trails coming in back here, trails coming in over here. So you try to put those coon cuffs, we call them. Try to put your coon cuffs along those trails. And you don't put it out on the food plot, you don't put it right at your feeders. You know, you try to get out away from it. But since I got coon cuffs, and I am targeting coons, nothing else won't get caught in them. So with that being said, I'm going to set my traps right here. I'm going to set them right here by my little feed blocks, because you see, my little feed blocks, you see what they've been doing? They're not really eating it, they're just kind of tearing them up. There's another one over here. Just kind of tearing them up, they're not really eating it. So, I'm going to set them there. And I'm going to put a camera on it. We're going to see what happens. You know, there's all kind of techniques to trapping coons. And everybody's technique will work. And the reason why everybody's technique works is because coons are just that curious that whatever you put out there, they're going to try to check it out. They're going to try to see what it is. So this is going to work. You'll just see the results. So let me see if I can get my stuff together there. Get it over here then, and we'll set a few of them up and I'll show you. Alright, I put down a stake on this one, and I got my little setting tool for these, so it's about where I'm going to put it in here somewhere. Let me get this thing set here. Okay, these Z-traps that I use. I showed you, I think, already. But the little trigger has got a little notch in it where they either push or they pull on the little trigger down in there for it to throw the trap, catch them. So I got my bait here, and it's all nice and stinky. What I'm using is I'm using sardines and corn mixed. Ugh, sardines and corn. Look at that. Only we had a way for you to smell that. So pour a little juice around it. I'm just going to pour a little bit of that juice around it like that. Yeah, there we go. Not filling it all the way, but I got a bunch in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a couple more right here around this, and we'll see. We'll catch something. Alright, got one there. And I got one over here. And I got one right there. Like I said, I never really set them on the food plots like this, but I did. And so we're going to see what happens. There's a deer track there. I seen her on camera. That was early this morning. Little doe messing around. I got that. And so, let's come back tomorrow and let's see what we caught. All right, I gotta go check these traps this morning. I was gonna show you. Somebody asked me here what I was using to knock them in the head with, and what it is this is just an old Chinese-made pellet gun. That's all I use for this. Something you can walk up there and pop them in the head with. Of course, this has been highly modified. I've cut the sights off of it. I don't need sights. And this part right in here, I cut it out with a grinder because I couldn't get my hand in there to load the thing. So this is all I'm using, 177 caliber Chinese pellet gun. So let's go check these traps and see what's going on. Okay, this is only the first day, and that's not unusual. All my bait's gone out of the trap, and it's still set. Nothing unusual about that, but I did put a little too much in there. Sometimes you put too much in there. They just dig it out, they get full, dig it all out. Never go all the way to the bottom and hit the trigger. That one's still set. That one's still set. Got my Leatherman too. I left it laying there yesterday. Good thing I come back. That one's still set. That was still set. Oh, they'll go off. I just gotta get my bait a little bit smaller and get it a little harder to get out of there. Work with it for a while. One thing I do to help me on this is I got cameras right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the cards on these cameras and go back and look at that, see what it is that went wrong. All right, I pulled that game camera footage there, and you seen what happened. Old Wally the possum, he come along and got to it first, and with his long tongue, he just reached in there and licked it all out and never did throw the trap. So a coon never got to it. So that's what I'm going to do is like I originally thought, I'm just going to break my bait up just a little bit and put it back in, rebait them and everything, and then leave it there and see what happens then. We're going to have more cameras on it. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see what keeps happening. Okay, what I did is I chopped it up small, and I just took a spoon and put just a little bit down in there. I gotta make it to where they have to reach down in there. So maybe it'll catch a coon and old Wally won't be able to lick it out. Okay, let's see what I got here. That one hasn't been throwed and it's still got a little bait in it. That one has been throwed. Something pulled on it and got out. And this one still has a little bait in it. So, I guess we'll just look at that. I don't see nothing. I don't know. So I guess we'll just look at the game camera then and see what happened.